Hi guys, I'm going to take you through this short little yoga flow that is perfect to do before bed. Now, stretching or doing yoga before bed is so important. It not only relaxes your body and prepares you for sleep, but it also helps you de-stress, unwind after such a hectic day. I know a lot of you out there are super busy, you're running around and you don't really have a chance to slow down. So this is going to be the perfect flow for you to give back to your body and to give back to your mind. So I'm going to take you through a few gentle postures and a few gentle movements. Hopefully you'll feel it really relax and rejuvenate your body, and you'll hopefully get that amazing sleep as well. So let's start off on the floor. We're going to actually do the whole flow down on the ground. So it's really going to be nice and relaxing. You don't really have to exert too much effort, and it should just make you feel really nice and relaxed. You can do it on your yoga mat, or you can even just do it down on the carpet. So a nice soft floor is perfect. And we're going to start at the back of our mat and just in a kneeling position. So just up in high kneeling. If you find this isn't quite comfortable, you can place a pillow underneath your bottom or even a rolled up towel. And we're just starting with our hands resting on our thighs and closing down our eyes. So just taking a moment here to tune into the rhythm of your breath. You might find that you're breathing quite shallow, quite quickly. I want you to take a moment to just slow everything down. Maybe take a few meaningful breaths here, breathing a little bit deeper right into your belly. And just feeling the rise and fall of your chest. And just slowly coming into a few gentle head circles here. So just circling your head all the way around, changing direction each way. So circling left and circling right, just in your own time. And slowly slowing down that movement and coming back to center and just opening up those eyes. So we're slowly going to walk our hands forward into our cat-cow position. So making sure our knees are under our hips, our fingertips are spread nice and wide, and our wrists are underneath our shoulders. Taking a nice deep breath inwards, pressing the chest forward, belly button down, and breathing outwards, rounding the back, looking at the belly button. Inhale, chest open, belly button down, tailbone up to the ceiling. And exhale, rounding through the spine, pressing through the fingertips, pressing through the tops of the feet. So just doing a few cat-cows here in your own time. So nice big inhale, nice big exhale. Again, we're trying to tune into our breath here and also calm down that racing mind. Okay, slowing down that movement and coming back to neutral spine, we're going to walk the hands out in front, starting to send our armpits down to the ground. So we're coming into puppy pose. You might see your puppy or other people's puppies come into this beautiful stretch. It's actually excellent for the upper body. So what I want you to think about here is, again, spreading the fingers nice and wide, aiming to get the armpits down to the ground and the sitting bones up to the sky. So we're really opening the upper body and the chest here. And if you'd like to, you can rest your head down on the ground, or you can try and place your chin down on the ground and look forward straight in front. So you might already feel a nice big stretch in your shoulders. And just have a little bit of a shuffle here. So shuffle left, shuffle right. So we're trying to release that tension in the upper body, in the shoulders, in the neck. Okay, slowly bending your right arm in towards your face and just pressing your left ear onto your left bicep. Just spending a little bit more time into the left shoulder. You might feel that nice big stretch into the armpit. Take a few nice deep breaths here. You can always throw me on pause as well and hold this a little bit longer if that feels nice. Beautiful. Gently bringing both hands back out straight in front. We're going to move to the right side. So bending the left hand, placing it in front of the face, your right ear onto your right bicep and pressing that armpit down to the ground. Again, coming back to that breath, feeling that nice big stretch. And bringing both hands back out in front. And one more time, just through the center. If you'd like to, trying to press the armpits down a little bit deeper. You can even give your hips a little bit of a shake here, your arms. Remember, this is your practice. Whatever feels good for you, do it. Lovely. Now from this position, we're slowly going to bring the hips forward, bending the elbows. And now bringing the hips down to the ground and opening through the chest. So we're in Sphinx pose now. Spreading the fingers nice and wide. The elbows should be right under the shoulders. And just pressing the tops of the feet into the ground. So you might even feel your kneecaps pull up off the ground. And just squeeze your bottom just gently so we're supporting the lower back. So just take a few deep breaths here, really focusing on opening the chest, dropping the shoulders, keeping the neck nice and long. And then slowly releasing everything down to the ground. So we're going to place the hands underneath the shoulders and we're going to come up into Cobra. So before we press up, again thinking about activating your legs. So pressing the tops of the feet down into the mat, squeezing the kneecaps off the ground, squeezing the bottom, and now pressing upwards, pulling the elbows into the rib cage and opening through the chest. So keeping that bend in the arms. Taking a few deep breaths here, nice long neck, and relaxing down. We're going to do that one more time. If you'd like to do Cobra, you can do the same one we just did. Or if you'd like to come up to up dog, so with straight arms, just shuffle the hands backwards to the bottom of the rib cage. And we're going to press up. Remember, activating the legs first. Squeezing the bottom to protect the lower back. So if you're an up dog like I am, the hips are lifted off the ground, you're squeezing the knees, the tops of the feet are pressing down into the ground. And we're squeezing the shoulder blades together, pulling the neck nice and long, and pressing the fingertips down into the ground. And when you're ready, slowly melting back down to the ground. And we're going to press it back to child's pose. So big toes together, knees out nice and wide. And reaching the arms out in front. So you can rest your forehead down on the ground. And just taking a few deep breaths here. So just taking a moment to match the length of your in-breath with the length of your out-breath. Lovely. Now we're slowly coming up into our downward dog. So we're going to curl over the toes, press the hips up to the sky. And aiming to get the heels down to the ground and the sitting bones up to the sky. So really lengthening through the backs of the legs. If you're not quite ready for this, you can have a slight bend in the knees if that's a bit more comfortable. So we want to make sure our upper body is nice and strong, starting with the fingertips spread nice and wide and pressed into the ground. And just broadening through the upper back. So a way I like to think about that is trying to get my armpits to face each other. So being nice and strong through the upper body. So we're trying to get the spine nice and long. As soon as you found that position, then you can focus on driving the heels down to the ground and sending the sitting bone up to the sky. So taking a few nice deep breaths here. And if you'd like to come into a little bit of a shake, you can shake the shoulders, shake the hips. Okay, we're going to take a nice big inhale, lift the left toes up to the sky. Exhale, bring the left knee into the chest. Step the foot in between the hands and drop the back knee down. So we're going to come into a lazy lunge. So you can just relax the upper body onto your front knee. So you should have a hand on either side of the front foot. And we're just trying to relax the hips downwards. So trying to get the hips low and the chest high. So if it feels good for you, you can even come right up onto the fingertips, so Spider-Man fingertips, and really open through the chest. So just spending a few nice deep breaths here. And you should feel that nice opening through the hip joints, so through the hips flexors, maybe through the groins even. So really great stretch if you've been sitting down all day. So we're really trying to lengthen the fronts of the hips. Okay, just taking a moment now to bring some movement with our breath. We're going to take an inhale here, press the chest forward, exhale, press the hips backwards into a little hamstring stretch. So if you need to, bring the hands a little bit closer. And what we want to aim for is lifting the chest tall and bringing the belly button down to the thigh. So we're really trying to bend at the hips. So making sure that we're not rounding through the spine. So as soon as you have this round position, you switch off that hamstring stretch. So that's why it's really important to pull the belly button down to the thigh and have the chest nice and tall. We want that nice straight spine. So hopefully you feel that hamstring stretch. I know I do. We're going to bring it back into that movement. So taking an inhale, shuffling the hands forward, bending the front knee, open the chest, come into your lazy lunge. Exhale, press it back into your hamstring stretch just for a moment. Inhale, coming forward, opening the chest. Exhale, pressing back. One more time, inhale. And exhale, pressing back. And just spending a last few breaths here. If you'd like to, you can dip your head forward, but remember to guide the belly button down to the thigh. Lovely. Coming back into our runner's lunge. Pressing the hands down to the mat, curling over the back toe. We're going to press it back to our downward dog. Just shake it out if you'd like to. And we're going to lift right toes up to the ceiling. So nice big inhale. Exhale, bringing right knee to the knee, right knee to the chest, and stepping the foot in between the hands, dropping the back knee down. So coming into our lazy lunge first. So resting the upper body onto our knee. Making sure one hand is on either side of the front foot. And just taking the time now to lower the hips down and open the chest. So focusing on those nice big breaths. And if you'd like to, come up onto those Spider-Man fingertips so that lifts your chest up a little bit higher. And let's come into our lunge and hamstring sequence. So taking a nice big inhale, pressing the chest forward. Exhale, sending the hips back, shuffling the hands backwards as well if you need to, and coming into that hamstring stretch. So belly button down to the thigh, trying to keep that nice straight spine. And of course, focusing on your breath. So the more you breathe in all these postures, the more your body's going to relax into the stretch, and it'll also feel a lot nicer as well. So remember to breathe. Lovely. Now let's come back into the movement. We're going to take a nice big inhale, bend the front knee, open the chest, come into that lunge, and exhale, sending the hips back. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, sending back. One more time, inhale, coming forward, and exhale, sending back. Good, holding this for a last few breaths. You can dip your head if you'd like to. And then slowly releasing, coming back into the runner's lunge. Pressing the hands down into the ground, curling over the back toe, and pressing back to our downward dog. Shake it out. Okay, lovely. Slowly walking your feet up to your hands. We're going to come into a little forward fold. So let's start with our knees bent here and just relaxing our hands down, relaxing our head. So in your own time, if you feel like you'd like a little bit more of a hamstring stretch here, you can begin to straighten out the knees, remembering to keep your upper body nice and relaxed. And if it feels good for you, you can link your fingers behind your back. Send your hands upwards and then over the head. If you're not quite ready for that, that's okay. You can just stay in your forward fold, enjoying your hamstring stretch. So really important to breathe here, to relax into this posture. Lovely. Taking one more breath here. And then gently bending the knees if they aren't bent already. And if your arms are up, just bringing your hands to your hips and then slowly releasing your hands down to the ground. We're going to bend the knees and then come into a seated position. So we're going to have our left leg outstretched and our right leg right into the groin. So the heel should be right into the groin. We want to make sure we're sitting up nice and tall. If you feel like you can't sit tall in this position, just place a pillow or that folded up towel underneath your bottom, and that height will help you to sit up a little bit taller. So from here, we're going to place our left hand on the inside of our leg and our right fingertips up to the sky. And then guiding those right fingertips up and over and coming into this beautiful side stretch. So thinking about opening your chest and looking up to the ceiling. So try not to drop down. We want to look up, everything pointing up. Taking nice deep breaths here. And gently releasing. We're going to bring the right foot over the left leg and just hugging that leg nice and tight. So we're trying to press the belly button into the thigh, sitting up nice and tall. Then sending your right arm behind you, left arm over, just coming into a gentle spinal twist. So it's really important here to sit up nice and tall. So feel like someone's almost pulling a string attached to the crown of your head. So inhale, lifting up through the crown. Exhale, trying to twist a little bit deeper. You can use that left elbow to twist. And gently relaxing. So we're going to bring the right leg out in front now and the left leg inwards. So make sure the heel's right into the groin, sitting up nice and tall. Right arm to the inside of the leg, left fingertips up, and then bringing those left fingertips over. So again, feeling that nice big stretch down the side of the body. If you ever get lower back pain, this is also a really great back release. Should feel really good after this. Remembering we're trying to guide the chest up to the ceiling, looking up to the ceiling, making sure we're not hunching over. And taking one more breath. And slowly coming back to our seated position, bringing left foot over right leg, hugging nice and tight. So really aiming to get belly button into the thigh. Give yourself a nice big hug. And then coming into that twist, so left hand points back behind you, right elbow over the knee, and remembering being nice and tall through the spine. So someone's pulling that string attached to the crown of your head. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, twisting a little bit deeper. And slowly releasing and giving those legs a nice big shake. We're going to do our last little sequence down on the ground. So we're going to lie down and we're bringing the right leg into the chest. So hugging in nice and tight, and just give that left leg a little bit of a squeeze as well. You might feel a bit of a stretch in your left hip flexor, maybe in your right groin. And you can just roll your right leg left to right. So we're trying to roll into that hip joint. Okay, we're pressing the right foot up to the ceiling and just crunch up so you can grab onto the bottom of the foot. So we really want to aim to get the sole of the foot right up to the ceiling and pulling the knee right into the armpit, so into your right armpit. Again, remember to squeeze that left leg, make sure it's not floating off the ground. If you can go a little bit deeper in this position, try and see if you can get your right knee past your armpit and almost trying to get down to the ground. So really getting into that groin stretch. If you can't, that's okay. Just enjoy the position that you're in. Remember, there's no expectations in yoga. It's just about you and your time on the mat. Lovely, and gently release here. You can give yourself one more hug, knee into the chest. And releasing that leg, give it a nice big shake, bringing left knee into the chest now. And again, rolling left to right if that feels good. And again, pressing your sole of your foot right up to the ceiling, crunching up, seeing if you can grab with both hands. Then making sure that foot is parallel with the ceiling. Pressing the knee into the armpit or right into the shoulder. Squeezing that right leg, make sure it's not hovering off the ground. And then if you can get a little bit deeper, trying to get the left knee past the armpit, pointing down towards the ground. So really important here to pull your shoulders away from your ears and pull using your upper back. So squeeze your shoulder blades together. Okay, gently releasing now, giving your legs a nice big shake. We're going to bring both knees into the chest. Just roll left to right, whatever feels nice. And we're going to press both soles of the feet up to the ceiling, grabbing the inside of our feet. And we're going to come into happy baby. So we're trying to get the tailbone down to the ground and squeeze our shoulder blades together. So we're trying to get as much back on the floor as possible. At the same time, try to think about pulling the knees down to the ground as well and pressing those feet up to the ceiling. If you want to get a little bit more of a stretch here, you can slowly begin to straighten your left leg as much as you can. Enjoy a little bit of a hamstring stretch. And then come back in, you can straighten the right leg. Again, if this doesn't feel good, you can just stay in happy baby and just enjoy that posture. And if you do want to, you can straighten both legs here. And again, aiming to get the tailbone down to the ground and the shoulders squeezing together. And gently releasing, give yourself one more nice big hug, rolling left to right. Taking nice deep breaths. And then we're going to begin to settle down that rolling. So we're nice and still, and we're going to roll up and down the mat now. So nice rock and roll until you come up to sitting. So there it is, guys. That was my bedtime yoga flow. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I feel a lot more relaxed. It's the perfect flow to do before bed, or you can even do it at any point during the day if you're feeling stressed or you just feel like you need to wind down. So hope you enjoyed it, guys, and I hope you have a beautiful sleep. I'll see you next time.